You're listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with Lyndia Grant.
Thank you for tuning in to The Lyndia Grant Show this Memorial Day weekend. We hope that all of you have plans, and we want to give a special salute, a shout out to the soldiers who fought in the American Civil War, 209,145 for the African American Civil War Memorial on U Street. That includes the 7,000 white officers. And to Councilman Frank Smith, the Rolling Thunder will be there on Sunday, the 26th, I think it is, the day before Memorial Day, whatever that date is, this Sunday coming. Be there at 10 o'clock to see Rolling Thunder. Now we're going to go to Dr. Julian Malvo. Attorney Daniel Stebbins is our second guest. But let's talk to Dr. Julian about what's been going on in politics this week. Dr. J?
Well, thank you, Lyndia, and I appreciate a shout out to Frank Smith and the work he's been doing and the Rolling Thunder. They're always really amazing to see our brothers really take it to their motorcycles and do what they do. I appreciate them. Now let's get it going. The so-called Big Beautiful Bill that the president has presented, as of today, Tuesday, it's stalled. He has basically been himself in terms of the way he's talked to Congress. He seems to think they work for him. They do not. He works for them. And so we don't know what's going to happen right now. The bill that's sitting there would have extreme cuts to Medicaid and Medicare, would have other extreme cuts to the social safety net. It says it will have tax cuts, but I don't see how. But in any case, that's pending. By the end of, they said they would have something passed by Memorial Day, of course, which is next week, Monday. We'll see. Meanwhile, those of us who depend on these social safety net programs need to be careful. Call your members of Congress. Don't just call Democrats. Call Republicans and tell them why this big, beautiful bill ain't that bit pretty for some of us. Everybody is talking about former President Joe Biden. He has been diagnosed with prostate cancer, aggressive prostate cancer that has set into the bone. And, of course, all of us, no matter how you feel politically, we feel for him and his family. But I feel very sorry, that he's going to go through this at this age. But,
it's stage 4, too.
Yes. It is what it is. The biggest challenge is that some of these people, like J.D. Vance, have used this as an opportunity to dump on the former president, to talk about what they knew and what they didn't know. Well, what I understand from Sanjay Gupta, as well as a friend of mine who is a prostate surgeon, this can come up on you. He didn't know in July of last year that this was happening. So many people have had last-minute diagnoses. So these folks who have something to say just need to, I'm not going to curse on your program. It's a religious program, but STFU. Okay? Just be quiet. It's not your burden. But his health is a concern, of course, for all of us. Now, I have to share with you, because last week I told you I was going to Grenada. And on Monday, of course, it was our brother Malcolm X's birthday. Ossie Davis called him our bright, shining prince, and so many other really accolades about Brother Malcolm. But people might want to wonder where he got his fire from. And the answer is from his mother, Louise Little. And so the pilgrimage that I went to with members of the Institute of the Black World, Dr. Ron Daniels, there were about 40 of us who went to her birthplace, actually where she lived. It's not much there anymore. The house has been taken down. But the goal is to build something to lift her up. You hear a lot about Malcolm, but, apples don't fall far from the tree. So we really have to lift up the name of Louise Little. And I'm inviting everybody who's listening to Google her. And there are 2 great books about her, to check the books out and to remember the role that mothers play in shaping their children. Moving along, speaking of women, let's talk about LaMonica McIver, the New Jersey congresswoman who's now being charged. Give me a break.
I heard that.
For they say that she is impeding an investigation. If you look at the pictures we don't have all the things. I see people pushing her. I see people shoving her, and of course, if you're somebody, I think she has a little bit of my personality. You're somebody. If you shove me, I'm shoving right back. I'm not even thinking about it. It's just like
automatic.
Don't put your hands on me. You know, don't put your hands on me. But apparently, she's being charged. Pam Bondi has set someone up to charge her, and they're talking all this smack about what she did. Ras Baraka, who was arrested, now they've dropped the charges against him. He's firmly behind her. When I look at the video, you know, Bonnie Watson Coleman is an 80-year-old black woman. I saw her being shoved. These ICE agents are out of control.
Yes, they are.
I'm going to stop there because there's so much else going on. Okay, so this is not funny, but it is. Taxpayer money is going to be used to pay the family of Ashley Babbitt, the crazed white woman who broke a window and tried to go into the Capitol. Her family's getting $5 million. Now, what is that about? They said it was a wrongful death. As one of the police officers, they said, what was wrongful about it? They were being stormed. They shot. This was not somebody who was going to be talked down. They were not going to be able to have a chat with her. She basically broke the quarter. Her family's asked for $30 million. So I guess the president and those think that 5 was a bargain. They should have taken this to court. They should have said, you want to go to court? Let's go to court. Let's look at this. That's what should have happened. But in any case, her family is going to get $5 million. I think that's wrong. A lot of people think it's wrong, but it is what it is because this administration, I'm just going to leave it there. All y'all who know me here, I'm not going to fill in the blanks. You know what the blanks are.
She's the lady that tried to jump the line or something and ended up having to get shot because she was trying to get in.
She broke the window, Lyndia. She broke the window to get into the Capitol.
Yes.
The only thing that was separating her from the members of Congress who were being guarded was that window and a couple of Capitol officers.
Yes.
Now, you know, the officers have been cleared. They said they did nothing wrong. But and one of them apparently committed suicide after having gone through all this.
Yes, I heard.
But meanwhile, this person, her family is going to get, and when I say person, it begins with H, like Heffa. Her family is getting $5 million for wrongful death. That's crazy. Anyway, more of the crazy. There were tornadoes in St. Louis over the weekend. I was in Grenada. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful time. There were a couple people there from St. Louis who spent much of their time on a Saturday morning on the phone trying to figure out what was going on. Was their family okay? FEMA is not operating in St. Louis right now. The President of the United States has failed to provide any relief as of this day, Tuesday. Now, maybe he'll come around to it. The mayor of St. Louis has been on talking about why. The former mayor, African-American woman, has been on the ground working with people, trying to help people get relief. But this is what happens when you let a lunatic loose in our government. FEMA is not operational in St. Louis as of today, Tuesday. Want to talk, what's his name? Elon Musk has said he's not putting any more money into politics. Maybe he don't have no more because he lost a lot of money. He's lost a lot of money, and that's become an issue. But he says he doesn't think he needs to be putting money in politics anymore. So that's a good thing. I think that there's been a lot of backlash toward him for what he's done and what he said. And so, you know, get out of town, boo. Just get out of town.
Yes.
Now, our Maryland governor has disappointed lots of us. He vetoed reparations legislation. He said this is not the time to have this legislation, not time to have a study. We need to serve our constituencies. I kind of understand where he's coming from, but it's been a great disappointment. People have been working on this for a very long time, and now it isn't happening. And so it's a letdown. And we understand we had lynchings in Maryland until 1939.
Mm-hmm.
So my work connects lynching to the wealth gap. So it's just a disappointment that this happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll stop there. You told me I had to.
And I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Dr. J. That was very good. And we're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll talk back to you next week.
Absolutely. Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
If it wasn't for my care coach at AmeriHealth, I probably wouldn't be so healthy right now. As a man, we don't get checkups or see a doctor regularly anyways. It's probably just a man thing because none of my partners go either. We know we should, but we just don't, and hope it works out.
So what changed for you?
AmeriHealth assigned me a care coach, somebody that gives one-on-one help, answer questions, explain things, and help set my appointments. She also helped me understand what having high blood pressure really means and ways to manage it so it doesn't kill me. It ain't nothing to play with. If you're a member of AmeriHealth, ask for a care coach. I'm glad I got mine.
At AmeriHealth, if you need a care coach, you can have one. Just call us at 1-877-759-6224 to get connected. 1-877-759-6224. This program is funded in part by the government of the District of Columbia Department of Healthcare Finance. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Washington and former religion columnist Lyndia Grant.
Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a segregated Montgomery bus. In lectures on brotherhood, Ms. Parks often said, "People always say that I didn't give up my seat because I was tired." But that wasn't true. I was not tired physically. I was not old. I was 42. No, the only tired I was tired of giving in. Driven out of Montgomery by harassment and death threats, Detroit, Michigan became her new home. Rosa Parks will always be remembered as the mother of the civil rights movement. Raised in the AME church, she once said, "I remember finding such comfort and peace while reading the Bible."
Read more in the religion column of the Washington Informer, an award-winning African-American newspaper. We don't report crime or gossip, just positive news. Pick up the Washington Informer or visit us online at washingtoninformer.com. Call 202-561-4100 for more information.
This is Frank Smith with the African American Civil War Museum in Washington, D.C., located at 1925 Vermont Avenue Northwest on the Green Line. Did you know that a recent study found that children who visit museums do better in school and in life than children who do not? So parents, teachers, and preachers, let's get moving. I promise you, if you bring your children to the African American Civil War Museum, they will be inspired by the images that they see. They will be impressed by our living history reenactors who are always available, and they will be involved in our scavenger hunt that takes them throughout our exhibit. That's the African American Civil War Museum, 1925 Vermont Avenue. Our hours are 10 to 6:30 on weekdays, 12 to 4 on Saturdays and Sundays. See it. Be inspired.
Thank you for tuning in to the Lyndia Grant Show. Now we're going to the second half of our show. You all hear Attorney Dana Stebbins every month now for the past couple of years, and her messages are so profound. I'm telling you, I hope you all have been enjoying it because she opens our eyes. I'm going to tell you right now. This week, Attorney Dana Stebbins is talking about this. She said, "Will you recognize your Democratic government when the Trump years are over?" And I'm telling you that now, that is profound because I don't think we will. I don't recognize some of it right now. Number one, what makes you ask that question, Attorney Stebbins? What has changed so far already?
Well, Lyndia, I want to start off by saying that the entire purpose of government has been changed. Mm-hmm. What a government is supposed to do is to exercise political authority over the actions and affairs of a group of people on their behalf and perform certain functions for those same people that cannot be performed without government help. All right. So just by telling you what government should be, you know that that's not what this is about.
No, it is not.
They have turned the government into a means of protecting the wealthy, denying those who are not wealthy basic rights and privileges, and causing us to have to figure out how to take care of the things that normally government takes care of. The first one is budget. This budget process has been designed to eliminate cost. So they're eliminating federal personnel, federal programs. They are doing it all in order to allow for the wealthy to get enormous tax breaks and advantages. And I'll give you the first example is the Department of Defense. The Department of Defense has always been staffed by career military who understand the importance of what the Defense Department should do. They are stand ready to protect the citizens and this country against foreign and local opportunists. Our Defense Department, under the new Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, has turned into an arm of Donald Trump. He has fired all of the senior military officers who know anything about protecting the government and brought in lower-level military people and a large number of civilian people who are only using the Defense Department to enrich the wealthy. The contracts that are coming out for arms and other weaponry are going to friends of the MAGA movement. He has defied the rules regarding secrecy, confidentiality, and protected information by putting stuff on social media that anybody can access that lets our enemies know where we are. So the level of incompetence in the Defense Department is astonishing. Then there's HHS. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who himself is a conspiracy theorist. He's anti-vaccination. He's anti-clean water. He's anti-fluoride. And he opposes now continuing to give COVID shots to everyone and wants you to pass an eligibility test in order to be protected against the COVID virus. Those are two good examples of how our government has changed.
Do you say he does not want us to take a shot, or he does?
He does not. He does not. He's anti-vaccination. He's anti any vaccination. But with COVID, remember, we were getting free COVID shots from the government, right? He's now put a halt to that, saying the COVID scare is over, and if you need a COVID shot, you're going to have to pass a test of some sort that he hadn't designed yet to be eligible to get it. He's taken the fluoride out of our drinking water, which is a huge problem because
but it hasn't happened yet, has it? That's something he's planning?
He's planning to implement that shortly. Okay. And all of the dentist people are telling him that our children's teeth are in jeopardy and adults because fluoride is protected, but he doesn't believe in that. So that's two.
Okay, so you gave us some effect, but what is the effect of this on ordinary people? Okay,
let's go to that. FEMA is an agency, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, that was set up to assist ordinary people, citizens, when a disaster strikes, a flood, a hurricane, or tornado, that you can qualify for FEMA assistance, financial assistance. The new FEMA director fired all of the employees. The one before that resigned because he was told to fire him and he would not. He was escorted out of the building. So we now have a FEMA director who is eliminating budgeted money for FEMA so that no one can be certain that they will get disaster assistance anymore. Your local governments will have to apply if you're in a hurricane or a flood. And recently that happened, and those communities have not yet received disaster assistance. That's an ordinary citizen problem. Okay? Then you have HUD. HUD's mission, Housing and Urban Development's mission, is now under review. It is to increase home ownership, support community development, and increase affordable housing for certain communities. They are revising the mission now, and we don't know what it will do. We don't know whether we will still be able to get affordable housing in communities. We don't know whether or not home ownership opportunities will be offered to, most of us. We don't know, but we do know that it is under review and will be changed. Then there's the information that we get. Freedom of the press is now no longer. It's been restricted so that only certain press agencies are allowed into the White House to cover press releases and press conferences. Not even on the most recent trip that he took to the Middle East did he allow any mainstream media. So that means we're not getting information. The average citizen that could be educated before by the news will not get that same level of news. You will not get educated. You will have to scramble to figure out what's going on. You'll have to find your own sources. That's another one. Okay? Then let me just say that the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, and this is a biggie. They're responsible for protecting the environment and keeping out pollutants and all other bad things for our health. Well, the regs have been changed. They also no longer can conduct research into what environmental issues we're going to be facing in the next 10 years. They have eliminated the rules around drinking water so that you don't know whether your drinking water coming out of your faucet now is clean or not. They eliminated those rules, and they rewrote the rules to allow dangerous chemicals into the system. So you remember the days
why they don't use it?
Because
they don't use the water?
No. Remember what I said early on. All of this was designed to eliminate costs, and only the costs that are that go to average ordinary people. See, they don't use any of these resources. They don't need. They have their own private resources. They don't need the government to do these things for them. But average people do. They have eliminated them so that they can save that budget money, over $300 billion, and turn it into tax breaks for the wealthy.
But that's more people going to die, and I guess they don't care about that either.
I would say, judging from their actions, they don't care. The whole point of government for them is to find a way to enrich themselves and to eliminate many of the programs that we have come to depend upon.
Well, Dana, let me ask you this. Can Congress do anything, or are they afraid? Because is this going to last forever after I think is trying to set this up so that everything will be so tangled up into a web that nobody can undo what he's done. And so is this going to last, or is there something somebody can do to slow him down? Because he hasn't been there that long. He hasn't been there 6 months
No,
yet.
he's only been a little over 100 days. So I'll tell you that the only effective measures we have so far are the courts. The courts are ruling against 90% of what he's doing. But because he doesn't have any respect for the courts or for judges, he's not obeying it. He's simply not obeying it. The Supreme Court told him to bring home that Venezuelan citizen. Remember, he's not doing that either. So when they rule against him, he's just ignoring it. He's proceeding to carry on. He's daring somebody to stop him. And Congress won't stop him because Congress is made up of a lot of the similar-minded MAGA people in the House and in the Senate. And so far, they have not been able to be willing to be reasonable and see what he's doing is wrong and try to stop him. So right now, we're on a course where it will take us years to recover from this. Even if he only makes it through 2 years, let's just say some miracle happens and he's only president for 2 years. J.D. Vance will be the president to carry out the rest of the mission, and he is as bad as this current president is. So it will take us years. If we take back one of the houses, maybe in midterm election, maybe we'll have a chance of doing something to stop it.
Slow things down, yeah.
But that's all we're going to be able to do is slow it down. The structural damage to this government is so severe. The funding of this government is so severe, the lack of it, that it will take years to recover. That's why he's trying to get this big, beautiful budget bill through, because it will take him through 5 years of maintaining this level of ineptitude and lack of service.
But Dana, I know this wasn't in our discussion. What about this parade? Is he still going to have it? That's got such a huge price tag. Do you know anything about it, or you didn't look into that?
As of this morning, the parade is still on, the $52 million parade. He's now not calling it his birthday parade, because even though it is his birthday, he's calling it a salute to the armed forces. And there's always been a salute to the armed forces. Yeah. There's always been a salute to the armed forces, but there's never been a major military parade with tanks going down Pennsylvania Avenue, tanks and trucks, airplanes flying overhead, helicopters. No, all of that is to praise him. And yes, it's still going forward. Imagine the damage to the streets in D.C.
I heard Mayor Bowser ask who's going to fix our streets with all this stuff coming down our street.
Yep, no answer.
Well, Dana, I'm telling you, I'm always excited about what it is you have to tell us. I thank you for being my guest again today. And I look forward to hearing from you each and every month. Only the news is just getting worse. I don't like what I'm hearing at all, talking about the water and vaccinations and just on and on. Not good.
I know. I wish I had better news, more optimistic news, but I think it's as important for your listeners to hear honesty.
The truth. Yes.
And know the truth.
Yes, it is. All right. Thank you, Dana. And now we're going to go to our close.
Thank you for listening to the Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with your host, Lyndia Grant.